another, but we were in the agreement that, we ain't we gonna make it till the end. So, and you want to be with someone like that, who's understands that, yes, this is hard, but yes, we're going to make sure that we please God in this area. And so that when, I'm saying, babe, you need to go away. It's not saying why you be good, you be good. No, he understands what I'm saying. When he's saying to babe, you need to run home now. I'm not just gonna be there, be like, why? Because we understand that we're both pursuing.
Don't wear that top.
Or don't wear that top. Do you understand? But it's the fact that he understood it, because my previous relationship was not like that. It was just like, I thought you're a Christian. Do you understand? But then it's the fact that he also understood, and he was ready to also just maintain, the purity of our relationship. But yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So another question we've got is, a godly man with my desired characteristics is pursuing me. However, I don't find him attractive at all, and he is not yet financially stable. Should I consider?
All right.
It's the money.
Not many people say this. We are big advocates for attraction. Big advocate. If you're not
I'm clapping with you.
if you're not attracted to this person, the best case scenario is you become best friends, right? That's it. You become best friends who are flatmates, right? And ain't nobody got time for that, So attraction is massive, but you need to understand attraction. Attraction comes on different levels, right? And sometimes you need to check your understanding of what attraction is, right? Because sometimes what happens is our perception of attraction can be so superficial, right, that we get blinded. I'm not saying if it's important to you, right, then hold it. But there's some things like, he needs to be, going to the gym 24/7, this and the other. All of those things can be learned. They can be learned behaviors, right?
It can't be tall though.
Huh?
If he's not tall, it
No,
can't be tall.
gym.
Okay, cool.
All right. If height is a massive thing for you, then obviously I understand it, right? But then you need to ask the Lord, if the Lord has enabled me to meet this guy, why am I seeing this person? Do you understand what I'm saying? What am I blinding myself to that because of what I want? Do you understand what I'm saying? But if after that you've done the prayer, you've assessed your attraction, and you're still not attracted to this person, I personally, and maybe my wife might have something different, I personally will say don't go there, right? But again, how you say no is very important, because when you get into marriage, if you're married to somebody you're not attracted to, you will find yourself, whether physically cheating or mentally cheating, something will happen, right? Because your physical attraction is so important. I cannot stress that enough for you. Is that?
Yeah, do you want to talk about the finance side?
Oh, with the finance side of things, now, why is that person not financially stable, right? I can't give you advice if I don't know the scenario. How do you know the person is not financially stable, right? You're right. Have you gone on a HMRC, company's house to do you understand what conversations have you had to find that person's financial status? Because if it is at the singlehood, you're still talking stage, and maybe they tell you they've got loads of debts, this and the other, some of those things you can easily overcome if you're willing to put in the work with them. But this is why attraction is so important. If you're not attracted to the person, what did you say? Did you say the person is... No. You see, there were some good things you said about the person.
Yeah, desired characteristics.
Okay.
Desired characteristics,
Actually,
but they're not attractive.
So, okay. So...
And they don't have the finances.
No. Wait.
No, but I'm sorry.
Because I missed that part. Because desired characteristics means there is something still attractive about that person. Do you understand? There's still and maybe these things that you are looking at, I always say break down what you want to see in this person as whether they're negotiable or not negotiable, right? If on the side where they're not attractive is not negotiable, then don't go there, right? But if it's negotiable, pursue it. Now, it's finance, but if finance is a massive thing, if the person is not good financially in terms of they're not good stewards of money, right? They can get help. That thing is learned, right? I'm within the dynamics of our relationship. My wife is good with money. I'm good with money, but I'm better with dealing with the bills, right? So I deal with the bills. She does money for other things. So what you will find that is in courtship or in relationship, there's certain skills that each of you had that complements each other. Just because that person is in a place where they're in debt doesn't mean they're a bad person. They might just be bad stewards of money.
That's
If
good.
you're sorry, and it might not be bad debt,
That's
right?
good.
So if your partner is better at stewarding money, maybe that's why you are their helpmate.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Mm.
So making decisions without knowing the fullness of the information means that you're not making a well-informed decision, and that costs you somebody that you could potentially do life with.
That's true.
Yeah,
I think touching
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
touching on that
Yeah.
finance aspect,
yeah.
I was gonna ask what level of financial intimacy and transparency
We even have financial intimacy. My God, I'm so good. I'm so glad I got married in 2020, in 2012.
yeah, what level of transparency should you have during the courtship stage with your finances?
100%.
100%.
100.
100%.
Everything. I need
I
to know
think-
what's in your account,
Yeah.
what you're doing, what your plans.
What your
what's-
job,
yeah.
what career.
What's the
What's
debt?
your- what's your
Yeah.
debt?
What's your debt? Yeah,
What's-
everything.
We're not saying in the first week, right? I'm not saying the second week, but in courtship, in that journey, you have to have that conversation, because a lot of people have gotten married and just inherited debt, right? And you have to understand. Listen. That's not necessarily a bad thing, right? The reason why I said that's not necessarily a bad thing is if you knew, right, and still made a decision to be with that person, you guys can plan yourself, because life be life in, right? Some people weren't exposed to the level of education that you have financially, right? That doesn't make them a bad person. It just makes them a less informed person. Now with your information, why transparency is important. Mate, I took a loan, life happened, the interest. You'll be like, okay, all right, so this is what we can do, X, Y, Z. I mean, we had a huge level of like transparency. Like, she knew what I was earning. She knew where money came in. She knew everything, because again, I had how much you earn, and I told her straight there on the bus, I haven't got anything to hide. This is the person that I want to spend the rest of my life with. Quick side note: marriage. If this is the person you want to marry, right? There is no rush. Someone say no rush. Someone say no rush. The gift of time helps you steward what is yours. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you plant a mango tree today, right, and you own that tree, every fruit that tree will bear is yours. But once you start seeing fruits come out, it's not the first day you pluck it to eat it, because if you pluck to eat it, the potassium level that will hit your mouth, it will be bitter. It will, in Nigeria, in Yoruba, okon, right? It means it's sour. Like, literally everything in you will shock. And something that you could enjoy, you now have to endure or actually throw away. So let the gift of time, let your relationship ripe. How long is long, right? As long as it takes for you guys to be confident to move on to the next stage.
Sorry, I just want to go back to that question, because I get a lot of question about the attraction versus character. I do want to say, as my husband said, we're good. We advocate for attraction and all of that. But woman to woman, we've been married for 11 years. I can definitely tell you that attraction does not sustain a marriage. Fine boy, fine girl does not sustain a marriage. When you're going through it, you're not even seeing anything fine. Do you understand? So it does. You're not seeing anything fine. You're not looking at it. You're not. But then also, that's what I was getting at. as women, by the grace of God, we'll keep this beauty, we'll keep this shape. In the name of Jesus. But what I've seen is that when you have children, things happen, things shift. So you're not even going to be looking the same way, even you yourself, because we evolve. Do you understand? We evolve. So whilst at the moment you're thinking, oh, I think I'm cute, you're not really measuring up to my level of cuteness. That's another one. With filter or without filter. So what I'm saying is that obviously as much so to that question, because this is very important, because that question says that this person has characters. Just like there's loads of qualities that this person has. So you need to be, do you understand? And marriage, the thing about men, they look even better when they're married. There's something about marriage that you're thinking, dang, thank God I said yes to you. Look, 10 is like, it's true. Do you understand? Because now you're shipping into your, you can really do whatever it is you need to do. Do you understand? So what I'm saying to that lady, because I get a lot of that question. Do you understand? If you measure it and you're seeing that actually the attraction is 20%, but the rest of it is 80, do you understand? Like, go for him. Obviously, go to prayer. See what the Lord is saying as well. Do you understand? But if the Lord is telling you there's no issue, there's no problem, you'll be fine. Do you understand? There's peace in this one. But because of attraction, forget attraction. Hold on to him.
Sorry.
Let me just quickly.
Yeah.
Like, you guys know I'm team attraction. Yeah? Mm-hmm. Like, you already know. Praise Jesus. But don't be premature in saying you're not attracted to someone. Because we have friends that this man was in church. Everybody was doing brother zone. You're my brother, you're my brother. Even she too, she wanted to brother zone. But the Lord in his mercy helped her see beyond.
Yes.
And when they got in relationship, my guy's swag changed. All of a sudden, the sisters were like, you're right.
Yeah. Transformation.
Who's you're right? You keep your you're right to yourself. If you don't have eyes that see
through it.
Even to that point, like you're very right. Like attraction, you need to understand attraction, because attraction can actually be also learned. We counseled a couple once. I'm not gonna call their names, but they were sat on the famous couch in the old house, and they were not even going into marriage yet, just in a relationship. And the guy was like, very brazenly, and I admire his courage for saying this, like the way she dresses. He didn't stop that from getting in a relationship, but through counseling, he was brazen enough, hoping that there will be an alley-hoop for support. And he was honest. I'm attracted to her. I see that this is someone, but there is something that else I would like. And we gave him a counsel and say, look, how about you give her gifts around stuff that you like? Take her shopping. And now, my gosh, like they are like inseparable, right? Because they were able to learn what is attractive to them, right? And they were, because of love. That's why it's not about you. You think I'm dressing for my girls. Yeah, be dressing for your girls till you're 60, all right? But no. No, it's true. It's true, because if you don't learn how to dress attractive for your guy, right, you'll be pleasing to everybody else apart from him. Same thing for guys, right? If she says she don't like this, X, Y, Z, then you need to listen, right? Because attraction can be learnt as well. Just to put that to that person. Cool.
It's amazing.
Gotta help him though. I could say the guy was like, and then he said it. I was like, wow. They're happily married, yeah.
So we're gonna flip the script a bit. So the next question is: if you've gone a bit far in brackets sin sexually, do you have to tell your leader for accountability?
Yes. No, yes. And can I say this? It doesn't mean the end of your relationship, right? It does not mean the end of your relationship. I think speaking to your leaders about it means that you have somebody, like you said, who's not so emotionally invested, but interested and invested in you as a person and as a couple, that it can guide you spiritually and practically. You cannot pray your desires away. Can I say that? Right? You can pray for the gift of self-control to be able to steward it, but you also have to put practical things in place. And one of them is accountability. And by speaking about it, can I tell you this? It also takes away that the power of condemnation, right? Because what it does is, because you have condemnation, the person you love, you end up thinking, associating them with bad emotions, right? And so because you don't deal with it, what ultimately happens is, not purposely, you can be projecting that condemnation on your relationship. So by speaking to your accountability person, your mentor, or anyone, you actually get that off you right now. Pray with you for repentance, right? But then talk to you guys practically, because there will be some certain foundational things mentally and emotionally that they might need to deal with, right, to help you break that cycle, right? So that's what I was saying.
The only thing I would add to that is there's something about I'm just going back to Adam and Eve. There's something about when you fall, when you sin, and you want to go into hiding. That doesn't help, because you would actually repeat. There's condemnation there, but you would actually repeat that cycle.
That cycle, yeah.
But there's deliverance when you let it out. Do you understand? When you confess it, when you just shine light to that sin, and that could be by, again, being accountable. But then there's also the amazing thing about being accountable when it comes to our sexual needs, is that it's like a safeguard, so that it sort of helps you think that, okay, I've given my words to the pastor, we've both given our words that we're going to maintain our purity. Do you understand? In a way, it just helps you be sensible. Do you understand? Sensible. Like, how do you get this far? Do you understand? Who was the irresponsible person? Like, just, it would help you go through steps. Okay, this is what we did. Okay, so we're not going to do this again. We're not going to be, if what we say is that if you know that you can't stand sitting together alone in a room, don't sit together in a room. Do you understand? If you know that, because what we do is that we just like, you're chipping in. Okay, we're okay this time around. We're okay this time around. People ask me, can we kiss? That's one question. We can't even kiss again. If kissing would cause you to lust over someone, so you're now imagining things, you're thinking things. If kissing will cause you to think, to then, to fall, don't kiss.
There's no way you kiss without imagination.
Do you understand? Someone, I have had a session with a lady, and she was like, Auntie B, is like even kissing of my forehead and my neck. I said, then don't stop kissing of the forehead on the neck. So that means I can't do anything. But because I'm like, if you're overly sensitive, do you understand? You know yourself, you're trying to work out your salvation with fear and trembling. If you know yourself that even holding hands will cause me to fall, don't hold hands. Do you understand? But there's a blessing that comes with you being accountable, because now because you know that I have to report myself to someone. That checks you. Do you understand? So please, 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 don't do anything in silos. Don't do it in, okay, we'll be all right. No, expose it. Yeah. Find someone, find Reverend Wanu. Do you understand? Find someone that you know that you can present yourself to be accountable under.
But can I also put this, just because you didn't do it in marriage doesn't mean like you're going to have we hear people, because we kept ourselves in marriage, in courtship, that means our marriage is going to be fine. That's just one aspect. You still have to work on yourselves. Does that make sense? Right.
That's a conversation for another.
Just a last question. Just going to wrap up. Okay. So this one says, when you're courting and find out they're kind of crazy, how do you respectfully leave?
What is happening?
Well, you find out that they're crazy.
Kind of crazy. They didn't say fully kind of crazy.
Okay, kind of crazy.
Don't color.
What kind of
Like coloring.
Not mentally. I think more so like they're just a bit, like.
It's not for you.
It'd be intense.
Extreme.
Toxic, maybe toxic.
Excessive.
Okay. All right. Can we move to another? That person, just define your crazy. Because if it's crazy like they hit you, run. Right?
Child.
Okay, let me ask the most recent one. Someone said, how do you not fall into the parent role of your partner in courtship?
Parent
role.
Wow.
With your
Mr.
partner
and
in
Mrs.
courtship.
I want to add to that,
Yeah.
actually, and ask, how do you not give, because Then you see, I guess, the difference in how much you give in courtship and how much you give in a marriage of yourself, just in like your time, finances, stuff like that. So how the parent, like linking, how do you kind of manage how much of yourself you give in courtship, but not giving, not enough or too much? Like, how do you manage that?
Okay. So when it comes to, let me address the parent role. There is a dynamic issue there, right? And there is, whoever feels like they're the parent should check themselves, and whoever wants to be parent should check themselves, because it might mean that you actually getting into this relationship to fill a void coming from family, right? Or you might be assuming that role because maybe you've been like the firstborn all your life, right? That takes care of the family, and now you're now in a relationship, you are adapting that. So it might not be that the person wants to be parented, it might be that you've assumed that role, right? So without knowing the fullness of it, I would say everything should be investigated, right? If you notice that thing, there's a dynamic issue. So we're more, big sister and little brother than you need, right? Same thing, right? Or we're more friends, right? Right? Or father and daughter, right? Do you understand? If you understand that there is a dynamic, you're frowning, you're doing that, but trust me, we've seen it. It does happen. It might mean that you've adopted something that, so you need to check yourself. With the other one, which is how much of yourself? Okay. How much of yourself? What would you say to that, babe?
Oh, so I'm still on the parent one. Can I just add to what you said? If you do find yourself taking on the role of the mother, usually it's the mother. The mother then becomes the wife becomes the mother of the husband. No man wants to be married to his mother.
Facts.
So if you're finding that in your courtship, you're sort of taking that position, please get help, because there will be problems in the marriage. Except the man is happy just to, oh, you're my mother. I've left home now, so now I'm married to my.
Because you do have some guys who are like mama's boy. Like, I want you to treat me like.
But then I feel like those guys
We've
end up finding girlfriends somewhere.
It's true.
Because every guy wants to feel like, you know, do you get what I mean?
Actually,
like a lover.
We've seen that dynamic. So actually, this is why I say you need to check yourself, because we've seen a dynamic where this plays out, right? And the guy ended up having somebody somewhere else, right? But what he was doing was being with somebody that can take care of his needs at home. Right? Exactly. Right? So this is what I'm saying. Like, you need to make sure you investigate why that dynamic is there, which is true.
Okay. How much of yourself should you give? So in courtship, there's still boundaries, obviously, from side of intimacy, but also that is not until you give your yes on the altar. Do you understand? That is still in a way possible. There's still a potential no. Do you understand? Until you actually get on the altar. So there is still some level of boundaries, but what I would say is that courtship is like a journey. And I think my husband has mentioned it so many times. It's like a journey towards marriage. So how much of yourself that you give, do you understand? It's dependent on your journey. So obviously things like getting to know each other, all of that stuff is at the beginning. But when I'm speaking to you about like traumas, for example, that I've been through, that's because now I've trusted you with the early days of the courtship, that now I feel like I can give myself this level. I can give you this level of information. And everyone's journey in courtship is very different. So I can't tell you when you get to the 6th month or the 7th month. It just depends on the quality of your courtship. Do you understand? That's why I would always say give yourself into the courtship. So how much you give, how much you expose is dependent on the journey of your courtship. But as much as possible, I would say that come, your marriage, obviously, the date you're getting married, make sure that you've given everything.
Yeah.
Although, I think with us, there was one information that I withheld, but I told